everyone waiting for the apocalypse. My name's Ed. I'm from bugoutnow.wordpress.com, and I'm going to be doing an unboxing of the Lee Classic Turret Press Kit, the 9mm Luger dies, and the Lyman Pistol Max cartridge gauge for 9mm Luger. Reloading is going to be a very useful skill to have post shit hits the fan. If you don't already have a reloading kit and dies for several common calibers, you should get it now. It should be a part of every prepper setup, because if you run out of ammo, you could have a whole basement full of guns and they're going to be useless to you. Ammo is going to be at a premium, and you're going to be a much more valuable member to your group if you're able to make ammunition to defend your preps. This setup was relatively cheap when you compare it to buying ammo to stockpile. It's going to pay for itself over time. I got everything off of Amazon. It came to around $265. So not bad. You could spend a lot more money on a Dillon press. It's not really necessary. They're great presses from everything I've read, but for my use, this is going to work just perfect. So once we opened up the big box, got a bunch of little boxes, a couple books. So we got the classic turret press there, got the safety prime, the Pro Auto Disc powder measure, the safety powder scale. Some people love that thing, some people hate it from everything I've read. Modern Reloading, 2nd edition by Richard Lee, which is a fairly thick book. I got some reading ahead of me. Thing is a reloading Bible. And the Hodgdon Data Manual. Also have the Lee Auto Disc Riser, which is a must if you're going to use the safety prime and the Pro Auto Disc powder measure. Some resizing lube, which from everything I've read so far, I probably won't need with 9mm, and a couple of the Lee case conditioning kits. I believe they're the same exact thing, they just give me 2 of them. From what I've read, I probably won't need those either, but they came with the kit, so I'm not going to complain about it. So this is everything that came with it. And now time to do some more unboxing. So let's see what's inside here. So here we go with the meat and potatoes. That is the Lee Classic Turret Press. And that thing is heavy. I didn't think it was going to be as heavy as it was, but I guess cast iron. It comes with a handle, a tube to catch the spent primers. There's all the parts to get everything assembled. And what really irritated me about it, it's nitpicking, but the instructions, a catalog of items that Lee sells, they folded it all up and stuffed it into the box that the press came in. I just don't understand why they do this. It's real frustrating when you want to look through something and it's all bent up and folded. I mean, they could have laid it flat in the main box like they did the data manual here, but instead they folded it all up and just made a mess of it. So I don't get what the thought process is behind that. Maybe so it's in there. If I guess a lot of these items come separate as well as in the kit, but maybe a little thought put into it would make it more presentable. Found a use for the reloading Bible. While I'm doing everything else, hopefully this will flatten out those folded up messes they sent me. Now we got the Pro Auto Disc powder measure. This will go on top of the expanding die, and the powder will drop straight through into the casing. Here's some PC parts that came with it, and the discs that'll go in it for measuring. And here's the Lee safety primer system. These things are great. Without them, I would have to physically take the primer out of the little tray, pop it into the plunger, so I can get it into the cartridge. With these, I just fill up that triangle with the primers. They'll feed down into the tube, and then every time I'm ready to put a primer in a cartridge, I just swing it around a little bit. It'll pop one into the plunger for me, and I don't have the headache of flipped over primers, dropping them, searching for them everywhere. This thing is a must-have, I think. This kit also comes with the safety powder scale. We open it up, we got the instructions right here. This scale, from what I've heard, some people love it, some people hate it, but we'll get all our load data out of the big reloading Bible and use this to make sure that the correct amount of powder is going in each cartridge. Looks relatively easy to assemble. Just have the 3 pieces, the base, got the Justice scale right there, and the little tray that'll hang and dump the powder in to make sure everything's good. Gonna try it out. If I don't like it, then I'll just go grab a digital scale from a Walmart or Target, assuming I can find one that measures in grains. If not, I'll go to an outdoor supply store and grab one there. And we have the die set also. Has an instruction manual for getting them all set up. Have the factory crimp die, the powder through expanding die, the sizing die, and the bullet seat die. It also comes with a powder scoop and a cartridge holder. And here's the Lyman Pistol Max cartridge gauge for 9mm Luger. Basically, this just takes the place of a barrel. Some reloaders will take the barrel out of their gun and just plunk finish rounds into that. With this, I don't have to field strip my gun and have my barrel sitting there. I can just have this little piece sitting next to my reloader, and as I finish a cartridge, drop it down in. It'll make sure that it's going to feed into the chamber without issue. It also checks the length, but you just pop it in, it'll sit flush, it should go in easy, fall out easy. Nothing to it. In my mind, well worth the $15 or $16 I spent to just not have to field strip my gun when I don't need to clean it. So that's it for the unboxing, and now I have a mess to deal with. So I'm going to get this thing all put together, follow the instructions step by step. Hopefully it's as easy as everyone says it is to get it all assembled and looking like that. I did not spend the $100 on the Lee press stand, so I'm going to have to do a DIY setup for a way to get this thing upright. I don't have a garage attached to the house or any kind of garage. I don't have a workbench in my basement, so what I'm thinking is I'm going to build a little stand out of plywood and just mount it to the dining room table with a C-clamp. As you can see, my table's awfully beat up, so I'm not too worried about dinging it up anymore or scratching it. And doing it right here, I can peek in on the baby while he's crawling around and make sure that my daughter isn't doing anything she shouldn't be doing in the living room. And just like that, it's all together. So as you can see, I built my little stand for it. Got a C-clamp holding it to the table. It holds pretty secure for the most part. I pulled the handle a few times and might need something else to help secure it a bit more, but it'll probably work for now. And there's the safety scale all put together. It's a little touchier than I'd like, but it'll probably do for now. Here's the powder measure. I think I still need to mess with it a little bit. And the safety prime system. And right there is a shell holder for the 9mm. Make sure that you don't buy that separate. It comes with your die set. So to mount this to my little makeshift stand, I just got 1/4 inch by 2 inch lugs. You don't need to go crazy unless you got a real thick workbench. I was worried about what size to buy because, like a dummy, I didn't measure anything before I left. I just checked for how big the holes were to mount the press, and then showed up at Lowe's and started looking at bins and had no idea how long the lugs needed to be. So here, the press is all the way up. You can see the little primer plunger. I don't know if that's what it's called, but that's what I'm going to call it. You pull the handle, and as it goes back down, the turret turns a 1/4 turn, and every time. So you put one casing in the shell holder and just start pulling the handle. You will have to put your own bullet in after it goes through the powder/expanding die. Then you pop a bullet on, send it to the seat die, drop it down, put it in through the factory crimp, finished round. That die there is the sizing die. It also deprimes. So you got an old once fired case, you put it in, pull it up, the pin will push the old primer out, it'll fall down into that tube. You can see before I started recording, after I got it set up, I got excited and deprimed quite a few cases that I had laying around. Then normally, without the safety prime, you would have to put a primer in there by hand, but with this, all you gotta do is slide it forward, push down on the top of it, and it'll pop a primer right into there. Then as you push the handle back up, it'll pop the primer into the casing. Easy as can be. So that's pretty much all I got for you guys. You saw the unboxing and the finished product all put together. Like I said, for $265, that's what I have in the press, the dies, and the cartridge gauge. You can buy a Lee Loadmaster Progressive. Every time you pull a handle, a bullet drops out. It does everything for you. The reason I went with the turret is because I want to be forced to pay attention to what I'm doing. I don't want dangerous rounds. I don't want to blow my fingers off. Not that Progressives are known for that, but with this, it's slower, and I have more time to pay attention to the details. If you want to jump into the Progressive, or if you're a seasoned reloader, then go ahead, go buy the Progressive. I'm sure I will eventually, but for now, this is what I decided would be great for learning. So thanks for watching. Don't forget to go check out bugoutnow.wordpress.com.